you. Allah created you. He created these relationships and He knows what works and what doesn't work, my beloved brothers and sisters. What is the solution to the problem that you have at hand? Brothers and sisters, the solution is very problem. You treat your sister-in-law that is haram for you. You treat your cousin who is haram for you. Your auntie who is haram for you. You treat these people in your family. You treat them the same way you would treat a stranger on the streets. Let me give you an example. You have a sister-in-law, okay? Your sister-in-law, how would you treat another woman on the street? You lower your gaze. You don't touch her. The Prophet ﷺ said, to touch the hand of a woman who's haram for me, it's more beloved for me to stick an iron needle through my head. The Prophet said this, it's more beloved for me to stick an iron needle through my head than to touch the hand of a woman who's haram for me. So don't no more shaking hands with your sister-in-law or your cousins or hugging them or your aunties that are haram for you. There's no more of that. You can't do any of that anymore. You can't. The Prophet said, sisters, your cousins and your brother-in-laws, don't beautify your speech to them. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, do not beautify your speech. Don't speak in a nice, hey, hi. Don't speak in that way with these men. Maybe you don't have an ill intention, but Allah said perhaps he has a perversion in his heart. So you speak to him very direct. Assalamu alaikum. You say what you need to do within the correct circumstances, family gatherings, family environment. You do it, but you don't meet up alone. You don't sit together. Why don't you sit together with your brother-in-law or your sister-in-law? Because the Prophet said no two people who are haram for each other sit together alone, except the shaitan is a third one in between them. He's trying to make you guys do haram. So, matter of fact, I take it back. I said you have to treat your these family members, your sister-in-laws, your cousins, your aunties, uncles who are haram for you. I said you have to treat them like you treat an outsider, right? Matter of fact, you treat them with even more precaution than an outsider. Because you're more likely to end up doing haram with someone who's closer to home, a sister or a cousin who's coming to your house every day, or you're going to a house and you're free and your boundaries are all mixed up. You're more likely to do zina with her or with him than you are with a random woman on the street. Because they're not so close to home. The guard is not so dropped. Does that make sense? So you don't look at them, you look down. Remember, if the first look, if it's accidental, no problem. Just look away. But the second look is from shaitan. Brothers, you have to treat them the same way, rather with more caution than you would treat someone who's outside in the streets. That's the solution. You want a solution? That's the solution, my beloved brothers and sisters. Now quickly, and at the end I'm going to give the answer to the brother's initial question. Now quickly, let's run through the Mahram chart. Okay, you can see this chart that's on the screen right now. Take a screenshot if you want, if you need, if it helps you, take a screenshot of it. Don't take a screenshot of my face though, please. Okay, so brothers, I'm talking to you first. This chart that you can see, this is for the men. In other words, brothers, these are all of the women that you're mahram for and the women that you're not mahram for. As you can see, everyone in blue is a man. So of course you can hang around with the men in your family. Homosexuality is a discussion that's beyond the scope of this video. But of course, it's not something that's permissible in Islam. So, provided you don't have homosexual tendencies, no problem, you can be with your cousin, you could be with your uncle, you could be with your auntie's husband, because there's no fitna for haram happening, okay? So everyone in blue is a man, no problem. Everyone in green that you see, you are mahram for these women. For example, your mom, your sister, so on and so forth. And they are specifically, the ones in green, are mahram through lineage. In other words, through blood. You're their mahram through blood. All of the women that you can see that are in yellow, you're also their mahram. But you're mahram for them through marriage. For example, your mother-in-law. No problem, your mother-in-law, you're her mahram. You can never get married to her. So that's why she's your mahram. You can hug your mother-in-law, you can spend time with her alone, talk to her, have a nice, chat. No problem. Because they are mahram through marriage. Now let us go to the women that you're not mahram for. Now brothers and sisters, notice on the list, all of the ones with the crosses through them, the red crosses. These are all the women to whom you are not mahram. In other words, these women, they're haram for you, my brother. You cannot spend time with them privately. You can't flirt with them. You can't touch them. You have to lower your gaze. You have to lower your gaze and so on and so forth. Notice as a rule of thumb, all of your female cousins are haram for you. You cannot spend time with them like that. You cannot touch them, you cannot hug them, you can't flirt with them, you can't, so on and so forth. You can't go out with them, you can't hang out with them. You can't do it in inappropriate circumstances. You cannot whatsoever. All of your female cousins. Okay, that's a rule of thumb. But let us just go through the others just very quickly. Notice that from your dad's side of the family, from your paternal side of the family, your dad's brother, your uncle. In Urdu, we would call him chacha or taya or whatever. Yeah, your dad's uncle's wife is haram for you. So your chachi or your tai, they're haram for you. This brother who sent us the email, this is the person in the family who he fell into zina with. Okay, he fell into zina with his dad's brother's wife, his auntie. Okay, now the one that he ended up marrying was his dad's brother's daughter. His dad's brother's daughter, as you can see right there. He married her, but he fell into zina with his wife. Okay, so now let's go to your mum's side of the family. From your mum's side of the family, your mum's brother's wife is also haram for you. Your mum's brother's wife, she's also haram for you. Just like your dad's brother's wife is haram for you. Okay? And of course, all your cousins are. Now, your sister-in-law is again going to be haram for you. All your sisters-in-law are automatically haram for you. So that would mean your brother's wife, and that would mean your wife's sisters. Your brother's wife is your sister-in-law, she's haram for you. And your wife's sisters, they are also your sisters-in-law, but from your wife's side, and they're also haram for you. So that's for the brothers, okay? I hope that's made the matter clear for you, inshallah ta'ala. Let us now just quickly look at the mahram chart for the sisters. Again, sisters, as you can see, everyone that's in peachy pink, they're women. So provided, again, you don't have any lesbian tendencies, no problem. These are your family members who you can hang around with, because there's no risk of fitna. Okay, you can hang around with your cousins and your aunties and your nieces, no problem. Okay, if you look at all the men that are in green, these are again men who are your mahram. They are your mahram, but they are your mahram from where? From lineage, from blood, because of blood relation, like your dad, your granddad. All the men that are in yellow, they are also your mahram, but they are your mahram through marriage. For example, your father-in-law, your son-in-law, your daughter's husband, he would be your mahram. No problem, inshallah ta'ala. Okay? No problem. Now, sisters, let us just quickly look at those men who are absolutely positively haram for you. There's no two ways about it. They're from your family. Again, the same way all of the females for the men that are cousins, all the female cousins for the men are haram, the same way all the male cousins for the women are haram. All of your cousins. All of your cousins. Now, your uncle, who happens to be your dad's sister's husband, he's haram for you. The same way, your uncle, who happens to be your mum's sister's husband, is also haram for you. Okay? And of course, your brother-in-law is haram for you, i.e. your sister's husband, or your husband's sisters. Or your husband's brothers. Your husband's brothers. Your brother-in-law, whether it's your sister's husband or your husband's brothers, they're haram for you also. So that's your mahram chart. I just wanted to go through it so you guys can understand it a little bit better for yourselves. Write it down, take a screenshot of it, but don't take a screenshot of my face like I said.